Continuing to stoke the flames is speaker number 2, code 3665, performing an oratory.
I want to tell you right here, right now, that I'm not going to give you another oratory intro. None of that, my dad is a Michelin star chef or my mom is a pop star. Because look, as much as I wish that was true, my dad is vegan. And my mom is, well, oh. Hi, Mom. You're a sweet singer. Yeah, let's try something else. Look, all of us come from someone. Most of us humans, others storks, but there's something all of us have in common, something Reddit user Nizamar illustrates quite well. My parents are boring. I will never be like them. We've all been brought up to not be our parents, to do what they couldn't. We strive to be recognized as unique and special. We fear becoming our benchmark for ordinary. Our parents. We hate the normal. In fact, we argue it's overrated. And that's my concern. Whether it's forcing ourselves to order the quirkiest dish on a menu, not settling for second place, or trying to write a creative intro to a speech out of my necessity to be different, we can't settle for ordinary. Searching for our abnormal has brought us to discount our normal. And now more than ever, in a world that is rapidly returning to a new normal, it's imperative we shift our mindset towards the value of being so. We must normalize being normal. So first, let's look at some causes. Then let's look at the effects. And then, of course, some solutions. Told you I was unique. And it's all Charles Darwin's fault. According to his Origin of Species, the species that survives is the one that is best able to adapt and adjust to the changing environment in which it finds itself. He didn't do it that way, but I thought it was cooler. If my elementary school hero says, adapt, have better qualities, that's how you'll survive, well, then I get why we want to be better than everyone else. We've been raised in a society that believes the fittest survive. And we all think that that fittest is us. That's why in 2017, researchers from the Department of Psychology in South Korea found that when asking participants to rank their abilities on a metric, the majority of them said they were above average. That's statistically impossible. We fear being normal so much that we automatically rank ourselves above it. Because if the fittest survive, then it has to be us. This illusory superiority leads us down that well-known rat race, which ends in a cataclysm of comparisons, in which we compare ourselves to normal and think we must do more. According to Psychology Today, over 10% of our thoughts involve comparisons of some kind. And this is most prevalent in my generation. That's why, in their 2021 study, Facebook Meta reported that over 40% of individuals who said they felt not good enough and a quarter of teens who said they felt unattractive said the feeling began on Instagram. What we see is society is autonomously able to organize itself into implicit social hierarchies. We may think we're the most secure people in the world, but the moment we look at everyone else, and I mean the curated, algorithmically defined everyone else, our self-pessimism is perpetuated. Who am I to be normal when everyone else is so much better than me? Okay, so how do we solve this problem? By going to the harms first. Our first harm arises when we sacrifice our values for our reputation. Or, as psychology professor Dan Ariely puts it in his book, Predictably Irrational, sacrifice personal utility for reputational utility. That's why researchers at the International Center for Academic Integrity found in 2015 that 90% of 70,000 students admitted to cheating. They cheat on a 10-point quiz because their quest for perfection overrode their integrity. Take convicted felon Elizabeth Holmes. She founded a revolutionary blood testing company, Theranos, whose product didn't quite work. Holmes knew this, but by the time the public had found out, she had raked in billions and misdiagnosed millions. When we don't meet the societally generated benchmark for normal, we misdiagnose ourselves with incompetence. Take Catherine DeWitt, a student at the University of Pennsylvania. When transitioning from high school to college, the new normal became best in the world. People would walk into class wearing full makeup. She had acne. Even the photos her classmates posted on Instagram made their lives look better and hers worse. With her rigorous work week, changing exam schedule, and growing insecurity, she reasoned, if I can't fit in, if I can't even be normal, well, then I don't deserve to live. And she's not alone. In a society where suicidal ideation amongst people like me has risen by 200%, this decision shouldn't be the norm. New York Times author Julie Scelfo tells us these cultural dynamics of perfectionism have built adolescents who are hyper-focused on success. They don't know how to fail. And I'm one of those adolescents as well. You know, growing up in the Bay Area makes you think success is one of three things: build a company, attain enlightenment, and do a bit of philanthropy in between. So when quarantine started, rather than spend time with my family, I made an account on LinkedIn. And rather than play with my brother, I'd scroll. And I'd scroll, and I'd scroll, and I'd scroll, and I'd start to have these moments. I'm too normal. I'm too ordinary. I'm not enough. I'd tell my parents this for months on end. But so what? I didn't solve enough math problems or cure enough cancer. Was it my fault? The way I live and the values I hold are fundamentally different from the person in front of me. How can I feel like I'm not enough when my best friend lands an internship, wins a competition, or just succeeds? Enough, normal, unique. These are all words built upon my assumption of what the people around me define them to be. I may never be enough. We may never be enough. But that's fine. That's fine. Now, I'm not going to pretend to come up with creative solutions to a problem this complex, but I have some suggestions, and they revolve around the Sanskrit word mudita, which means pure joy with unadulterated self-interest. There are many ways to practice mudita, but here are two. Number one, appreciate. Be thankful for what you have. You'll end up having more. Focus on what you don't have, and you will never, ever have enough. Oprah said that, so we all best believe it. Let's start to focus on the small things, the things we take for granted. For me, it's family, the habit of running. Home. What are yours? Use them. Catherine DeWitt, a New York Times scholar, recommends writing down 3 good things that happen in your day and making it a habit to say thank you at least once. Let's stop looking for happiness out there and learn to find it right here. Number 2, celebrate. If there's one thing COVID has taught us, it's that normal's not that bad. So let's not wait for the next pandemic, natural disaster, or war, for that matter, to teach us that what we have right now is worth celebrating. So celebrate your victories, small or large. And that doesn't mean stop trying to create the next big thing, build that company, or buy the next Twitter. I'm just saying don't let that strife turn toxic and lead to yours and other people's demise. And we can start right now. Competitors, at the end of the round, whether you do better or worse than normal, celebrate your message, your advocacy, and your competition. I mean, without you, I wouldn't be here. Now, this speech was created after a conversation I had with my dad in the car. He told me how lucky he was to live a life with food, water, shelter, kids like me. He said, Ariv, reach as high as you want. Just don't forget the beauty in this. In a normal, happy, healthy life. As much as it may seem so, it's not that boring after all. Remember, we're coming out of a pandemic, so take a second to step back. Breathe. Because at the end of the day, it's okay to be ordinary. It's okay to be normal. It's okay not to have a real conclusion at the end of your speech. And it's okay to flub too. Because you are enough. You really are.